So, when it came to writing the 50th anniversary episode, why did you decide to include the stars and the characters that you have?
Well, it's about two things. It's obviously about you paying tribute to the past. That's the obvious part. The other thing is I don't want it to be a state funeral. I don't want it to be a retrospective. I don't want it to be one of those shows that you have at the end of the year, looking back on the year that was. I want it to ensure the next 50 years of Doctor Who. That's the most important thing. The most important thing about the 50th anniversary is making sure we get to the 100th. So that's the very, very general and vague principle behind it, from which you can deduce nothing.
Yeah. We've got David Tennant and Matt Smith as our two leads. I mean, did you ever have thoughts about bringing in older Doctors? A lot of fans were kind of campaigning for that.
You'll have to wait and see what's in the show, won't you?
So there will be plenty of nods to the past on that level.
There'll be enough nods to the past. No one's going to be shortchanged on that. Why would I do that? Of all people, it's about the past, by making the past alive, by making the past not old and tired, by making it exciting and vibrant. The grand tradition, the legend, the myth, rather than the past. The past is rather boring, isn't it? But the legend and the myth, that's cool. And as I say, looking forward, launching. If I had one thing, as a note I gave to myself, and I'll put myself on the line here and say it was, let's make it sort of the most important event in the main character's life, and the most important event in the Doctor's life. Something that actually changes him as a person, not even physically, I mean just as a person, or maybe. So very few Doctor Who stories do that. Very, very few, where you think you actually make an impact on that man and his progress to the universe. I wanted this story to be one of them. And in a way, about him. They're very rarely about him. It's about him.
And in terms of bringing back classic monsters, we know the Zygons are back, and fans love the Zygons. Why did you decide to bring them back?
I'm a fan too. I love Zygons. Design classic.
Yeah.
Superb. Absolutely superb, which is why and Neil Gorton was in complete agreement. We said, let's just not mess with that. Yeah. Those are brilliant. Yeah. And I look back at them and, they're just phenomenal. All we really did with the design, we altered the hand slightly, and we... it's made of better rubber. It can move a bit more. Is about the difference. But they're cracking monsters. I'll be honest about the publicity for this show. I'll always reveal anything we have to shoot outside.
That's a good point. Yeah. And as a Doctor Who fan yourself, I mean, what are your thoughts on kind of anniversary stories of the past and multi-Doctor stories of the past? What's kind of your thoughts on them?
Cunning, very assy. What do I think? Well, one of the peculiarities of Doctor Who, which I find very hard to cling to as a memory, is the Three Doctors is not an anniversary special. It was 1972. They just decided to do it as a season opener. I think that one's gorgeous. I've got to say, I absolutely love the Three Doctors. I think it stands up completely as a piece of television. I think they got a little piece of magic with Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee together. Yeah. That was a superlative double act, and I'm afraid it is better than having had William Hartnell interacting as well. That wouldn't have been as good. It's just the two of those together were superb, and they also looked exactly right. So that's probably my favourite one of that lot. I thoroughly enjoyed the Five Doctors. But you felt more disparate, felt more split among them. I wanted more of them together, and I wanted them to look a bit younger. but it's lovely. But for me, the wit, the humour, the warmth of the Three Doctors. You've got Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee on superlative form, and the Brigadier, Nicholas Courtney's the Brigadier, is to die for in that show. He's so funny, so beautifully played. I think the funniest line in Doctor Who is when Unit HQ is transplanted, and he says he thinks it could be another country, and he says this could constitute an invasion. Sublime, brilliant stuff.
So did that inspire you writing this 50th special at all? That kind of that tone, that warmth.
It's a very, very different show we're doing. I've got to say. I will say this. I'll put my neck in the line and say this. Whatever else goes on, whatever else you see in this, whatever else will happen, whatever surprises we have in store for you, I'll tell you, will not come as a surprise to you. Matt Smith and David Tennant are pure magic together. Absolute magic. Very different from the John Pertwee, Patrick Troughton dynamic, but they become very good friends in a scarily short amount of time, and they are sublime together.